Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Addiction Report. I'm Billy H. Is there gambling in your family? I'll let you know how to find out how next. So there's something up in your family, you're not quite sure what it is. You just know that one of your family members, perhaps a spouse, is acting a little strange. Here's some thoughts on if it might be gambling. One of the first things you want to look for is avoidance of all things financial. Not wanting to get into any lengthy conversations about finances, always saying that things are paid, and they would rather not let you have a look at the accounts. That is a warning sign. So that's one of the things you can look for. Another thing is preoccupation with the phone, the iPad, the tablet, spending excessive amounts of time. And I get it, people on their electronics, that's a big thing these days. Everybody's doing it. I know in my family, somebody's watching TV, they got a tablet out. I personally try to shut that down. I'm not always successful. But if your spouse or another family member is constantly, checking scores, looking at the phone, etc., that could be an issue with gambling. I do remind you also that March is National Problem Gambling Awareness Month. Now is the time to, if you've had a gambling problem yourself, maybe it's time to get help because, trust me, it's only going to get worse. That's all it does. Okay, some other things to look for. Excessive knowledge of sports. There's nothing wrong with being the person who knows everything about sports. However, if this is a new thing, especially, and you're just noticing that all of a sudden, somebody in my house knows every little thing about teams that nobody cares about, or sports that nobody cares about. I'm sure somebody cares about some of these things, but either way, preoccupation with a lot of sports. Fantasy sports that they claim they're playing just for fun. If a person's in multiple fantasy leagues for different sports or even the same sports, that could be a warning sign, something to look into. Sudden emergency expenses on a frequent basis. The car, the house, the family, whatever it might be. These emergency expenses seem to pop up more and more. And of course, that person might be asking for loans on the internet, with other family members, with other friends. And lastly, I'll end with this: emotionally distant. Don't want to talk, not interested in a whole lot of things. So look for those signs. Of course, they could lead to other issues. It doesn't necessarily have to be gambling, but those are some pretty heavy-duty signs of problem gambling. Look for it. I'm Billy H., and that's the Addiction Report.